it's been a while since I've checked in, and just thought I'd make a quick video here. Let me get my mirror adjusted. Cold December morning here just before Christmas, and I'm on the way to a job site for a pre-construction meeting for a driveway. And so I've done a pretty nice plan, I think, and these folks are actually first time I call them first time buyers, but I call them that because it's the first time that they've actually done a new construction home, so they need a little bit of extra hand holding, and that's completely fine with me. But anyways, what I wanted to do a video about today is actually about a new project I'm going to be doing that is going to be sort of a mobile studio for my business. It's something I've been wanting for a while. I like to say that I have to be like Clark Kent, and at any moment I may have to look the part and then I may have to look another part 5 minutes later. So for example, I might be out. A reversal of that would be like this summer. I spent a lot of time in a client's house and straightening out all of his formal holly hedges, and unfortunately I can't really find anyone to do that kind of work for me. So if you want something done right, oftentimes you have to do it yourself. Let me turn this heater off. So in that case, it can get really dirty in July, August. It can get really hot here in Atlanta, and when it gets hot, you start to sweat, and sometimes you start to not smell so nice. So and then, for instance, later on that evening, or later that afternoon, I may have a meeting with a client, and I need to look like Clark Kent. So in that case, I would be Superman and then Clark Kent, and then vice versa. So long story short is I've been looking for, say, a mobile office solution for quite a while now, and to increase efficiency. So rather than having to go and take a shower, get dressed, go to a meeting, or even worse, postpone it to another time, I'd like to just be able to be as efficient as possible, particularly in the busier months, which would be, say, fall and spring. So, and also for out-of-town projects. When I go out of town, sometimes a house may be under construction, or for instance, I work with these hotels down in Jekyll Island. I go down there, and then I have to unload, get all my gear out, put it in the hotel room, and then I got to take all my gear out, and then I've got to walk, a quarter of a mile to the other side of the complex, or an eighth of a mile, or however far it is, only to need something back in the room. So long story short is I'd like to be able to be fully functioning. Everything is right where it needs to be. I'd like to be able to do some computer drafting, have a space for some hand drafting. A small bathroom would be nice for emergencies. Let's see what else. Be able to change, be able to cook a little bit, and also be able to take the family camping on the weekend. So previously I had a E350 box truck. It was a 2010 Ford E350 box van, single rear wheel, and I liked it. It was pretty cool. It was just under 10,000 pounds GVW, so there was no need for DOT criteria or anything like that. So I liked it. It also had a Tommy lift on the back, and I thought that would make a neat porch and could be a nice stealth camper. And for whatever reason, I could just never get around to just really wanting to do it. I watched a million YouTube videos and never was able to really get interested enough to really want to start. I got to the point where I wasn't using the van much anymore. It was really mostly just being used by people who knew that I had the van, wanted to borrow it, or wanted me to, even worse, they wanted me to go get something for them. So I saw this bumper sticker one time that said, "Yes, this is my truck," and "No, I will not help you move," and that is true. So a lot of people don't even know I have this truck here. This is a 71 F100. I like to keep that a little bit of a secret, but I guess the cat's out of the bag right now. But anyways, so and then I looked at other solutions. I looked at all sorts of things: RVs, bumper pull trailers, travel trailers, and I never really could find anything that I really felt like would fit the bill for me. and then I stumbled across this F250 at my uncle's shop a couple years back, and it was a 77 Ford F250, and at the time I didn't really know what year it was. I could look at it and tell it was late 70s, maybe even early 80s. I didn't really look at it that close, but I was interested in it, and I kept asking him over the course of a year or two and several months, how's my 250 doing back there? And finally he got to the point where he said he was going to sell it to me. So I bought it from him for, let's say, $500. It was actually $1,000 for two items. A Taylor Dunn was sort of like a utility cart. You might see those at the airport. I may do another video on that. And I bought the truck for $1,000 and spent some time on the Taylor Dunn, got it running, and probably use it around the house, around the neighborhood. Maybe even as a mobile battery bank for solar if I ever go camping, that kind of thing. So I'll talk about that later. But so anyway, so the story is that the truck is set at his shop for, say, 15 years or so, and the guy who owned it just gave it to him, and it was he used it for camping, and it turns out he was a hunter, and he lives close by, and he told me that close by the shop, but less than a mile away. So he told my uncle, or actually my uncle told me that he actually had the slide-in camper that went with it, or that he used them together, and he thought that maybe he might be interested in selling that camper, or getting rid of it. So he finally talked to him, and the guy actually said I could have it. So it's sort of like serendipity, you might say. I went and looked at it, and instead of just him giving it to me, I told him I'd give him $200, and he said he didn't want $200, so we settled on $100, and I said, go buy yourself a steak and celebrate the memory of the old camper. So turns out he actually bought the camper in 1967, brand new, so he used it in a different truck, and it's a 1967 Frolic slide-in camper, and it looks like it needs a lot of work, but that's fine. I like doing those kind of things, and I'm up for the challenge. I've watched a million videos on camper restorations, and I look forward to getting started on that. So I'm going to try to do as much rebuilding to the camper as possible, restoration work. I may even dig into it and decide it's not worth it. Who knows? But I would have gained a lot of experience, and I'll be working on the 250 at the same time. So right now the 250 is sitting on 4 flat tires, and I've done some initial cleaning on it, kind of doing some survey work, things like that. I'll talk more about that later, and I hope to pick up the camper here the next week or so. He's got some, the owner says he's got some stuff in there he wants to get out, and that's fine. And I'm just going to use this F100 just to go pick it up, to drive it to my house, put it in the garage, and just start working on it. So, hopefully within, say, 6 months or a year, I'll have the rig all set up. And I probably won't use it every single day, but during those times when I'm working on a project, and a lot of times I'm waiting on subs, it's getting harder and harder to get people to show up on time, even those that has worked with me for several years. I can just sit there and wait for them in the AC, and I could be working on another project. I could be doing an estimate for another project. I could be laying the groundwork for other projects at the project I'm working on. So it's nice to have a space to work, and sitting in my other van, my little Nissan, sitting in that and pulling the computer out on your lap, and then getting the cord out, and then getting the converter plug set up just right, and getting your mouse working, and then getting online and getting everything right where you need it to be takes about sometimes 10 minutes or so. And usually what happens then is that's when they'll show up, and then you got to pick it up, move it to the side, and you got to, certain situations you have to lock it up, and you got to turn the car off, and then you come back and it's offline, and so on and so forth. So you get the picture. So I'm trying to create a more efficient space, and I'm also trying to create something that might be a little bit different, and will serve that dual role of being a sort of a mobile office type solution, as well as take the family camping in. So anyways, I look forward to featuring this project, and I've seen a lot of other videos from folks who have done some restorations on both the trucks and as well as the campers. So I really appreciate all those videos that they've posted, and I've learned a lot. And so hopefully you guys can get something out of this. I know I will. Enjoy making videos. I haven't been making as many as I would like to, because having a YouTube channel is a lot of work, and I've only posted a few videos, and it's been a while since I've posted one, but I've learned a lot since then, and I hope to put out some more content. So anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.